Dear learners, welcome back to the third unit, e-commerce. This is your course coordinator, Rakhi Ghosh. This is a buzzword, isn't it? And you all must be aware of the platforms of e-commerce. I hope all of you who are hearing me right now through this video have once at least made a purchase online, maybe from Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, eBay. This all are nothing but they are e-commerce platforms. We will dive deep into what it is that your syllabus has more to talk about on e-commerce as we move ahead. What is e-commerce? So by definition, e-commerce is nothing but electronic commerce, or it is also known as internet commerce. Now what exactly do we mean by this particular phrase? You have this to read on your own, but I'll give you a quick example. Every time when we are making a purchase online, for which we have to do a transaction online, we are being part of an e-commerce. E-commerce not necessarily only means when you are buying a physical product from online platforms like books from Amazon or Flipkart, or maybe any kind of electronic equipments from any of the site. However, even if you are availing any kind of services or subscriptions, say for example subscription of Amazon Prime or Netflix, or there are multiple other avenues, you are paying to them, right? Even for the audiobooks in Spotify, you are taking a subscription. These all then becomes part of what? Nothing but e-commerce. I hope the concept is clear to you of e-commerce, and every time now that you interact with any of these platforms, whether you are Netflixing and chilling around, you remember that you are being part of an e-commerce platform. Moving ahead, types of e-commerce models that we have. So we have business to consumer. Now what do you mean by business to consumer? Dear learners, many of you are from the field of marketing. So this concept of business to consumer, business to business are pretty much clear to you. However, in terms of e-commerce, when we are talking about business to consumer, what exactly it means? So the example here as it states, when you buy a pair of shoes from an online retailer, what you are doing is you're buying that particular pair of shoe directly from the business. There are no intermediaries in between. Business to business. Now, for example, you are a business, right? And say startup. Now you want to upscale the entire business of yours, having understood that the revenue is being generated quite well enough for your organization. You want to buy certain kind of subscriptions, say emailer, in order to nurture your leads. How do you go about it then? You buy that particular email marketing service from a particular vendor online. Say whether it is MailChimp or whether it is Wix or HubSpot, you take that email marketing subscription plan for yearly basis, for quarterly basis, for monthly basis, right? So you're paying to a particular business directly in order to avail that particular service. And service for whom? Service for your business. So this transaction is between business to business. And in which platform? Through an e-commerce platform. Third is consumer to consumer. Now, consumer to consumer e-commerce is very interesting one. How does it actually moves? So you have a particular item with you right now, and you want to no longer wish to use that. You want to sell it off and buy something else. So you, in order to resell it and sell it to the person who is really looking forward to it, you list it on different platforms like OLX or eBay. And now in that particular platform, you have the opportunity, that you are listing it. That means there are people who are looking for it as well. So here people who will be contacting you would be someone who is in the need to buy that particular furniture of yours, right? So you have an old furniture. Now you want to sell it, and the person who is buying it also is a consumer who is looking forward to get that particular piece of furniture. So now what? A consumer, I am selling my old furniture to another consumer who wants to buy that old furniture. So this model is consumer to consumer in the platform of e-commerce. And different platforms that you use, eBay could be one of it, OLX could be one of it, and there are other listings where you list up your products, and in exchange, people who look forward to such services or products, they contact you directly. Yes, there are no intermediaries in between. The fourth point that we have is customer to business. Now, this is a very interesting segment in e-commerce. Now, understand why do I get so interestingly sounding at this point of time? It is because at this segment, you would see today we are at the verge where we are using digital marketing to a different magnitude altogether. In fact, many of us have account in almost all the platform, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, right? You name it, we have an account on it. However, with not only having the great user on those particular platforms, you see that there are a lot of content creators on those particular platforms who have numerous numbers of followers. Like in LinkedIn, you would see that, there are business influencers. In Instagram, you would see travel influencers, fashion influencers, food bloggers, vloggers, everyone is up there. Now, when I, as an influencer, or someone who has a good amount of followers, what I tend to do is I tend to collaborate with a particular business. Or I am a renowned photographer, you say. I have very good number of fans in my page, in my Instagram handle, right? Or I am a freelancer videographer and I have good amount of followers in my page. What I can do is I can collaborate with any of the business. Say I collaborate with a restaurant and I say that I am a travel influencer. What I'll do is I'll take pictures of your resort, food, and I shall review about your resort and give good feedbacks. And in return, you provide me that particular service free of cost. You get a publicity and I get to stay free of cost. So it is a win-win situation. And in return, how does the business yield result from it? So my fans or my followers, they get to see what I have posted, that I have said that this particular resort, this particular food is very good. You can visit there and avail it. So the publicity is done. The business is being listed. They know how to better yield result from it. And second thing, I as an influencer, I get to visit that particular business without paying a penny. So this is one of the segment which is growing humongously in this particular space. Moving ahead, let's see some of the examples of e-commerce. Now understand why do we talk about the examples of e-commerce. We are not only confined to a particular type of e-commerce that we are selling, only physical products, or we are selling only a particular type of commodity online. However, there are different other aspects that we are dealing with. There are retails on place, and obviously post-pandemic, the entire e-commerce market has seen a dramatic growth. We have seen how the consumer's behavior toward their buying has completely changed. The purchase behavior of the people have completely changed. Now, no matter what has happened in these 2 years, they have understood that, it's better to be in our own place and order something and get it directly to our hand rather than moving around. So in this aspect, having understood the comfort, the change in our lifestyle and so much more, and as we are moving ahead with our dynamic lifestyle and the kind of work we are engaged with, the entire cycle has changed. E-commerce market sees a huge growth potential today and the years to come. So there are different other segments that is continuously, which was not there in the face of e-commerce, but now they too have upscaled themselves in different platforms where people can, or their customer can easily connect to them. So we have retail on place. Now, when I talk about retail in e-commerce, I would say you would buy things from mom and pop stores in your locality, right? There are small vendors, small kirana walas who are available in your locality. Those mom and pop stores are readily available, providing you with the necessary groceries that is required for your monthly consumption. However, in the space of retail, you would see Big Basket has come into place. There are different other local players who are now, or in fact, your local vendor who has a small mom and pop store, he too have opened a small site in which he is selling or he is listing all his grocery products up, and he says, 2 kilometers free delivery. So these is how the consumer buying pattern has evolved and has also changed how the traditional retailers sell their product, and they're moving towards this platform of e-commerce. Wholesale. Now again, Alibaba could be an example. You see, when you want to buy products in bulk, there are a lot of e-commerce platforms available, and Alibaba, being one of the global greatest player, is an example that you could look up to. You would buy any kind of thing if you wish to start a particular business from scratch and you want certain kind of product in bulk. You can immediately go list the product out. You will see numerous vendors. You would see the pricing for that particular commodity in exchange of certain pieces. Say for example, you have to buy 100 pieces for which they will be charging you so and so amount. Likewise, in two different levels. Now, if you are watching this video from India, there are different local players who are listing their products into this local listing. However, if you are watching it from New York, Africa, there are local players. Again, what they do is they cater to the local manufacturing units. They list their products up on their behalf and they sell it for on behalf of them to you in order to buy those bulk products, right? And all the transaction and everything is done online. So again, this whole system of wholesale, which was previously very much traditional and conservative, a lot of traditional, transportation expense, logistic and supply chain expense had to be bear, now has totally been evaded with the commencement of e-commerce in place. Drop shipping. Now, drop shipping is something probably all of you have, once that you have purchased anything online, you have come across with it, right? So here what you do is when you are selling a product which is being manufactured by someone else, a third party comes into place. So you would see that not only with the rise of e-commerce, this particular segment, logistic and supply chain, has also grown dramatically. Why? Because e-commerce means you are buying a particular product online from a particular vendor. There has to be someone who needs to deliver it to you, right? So usually, unless you are big players like Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart, who have their own supply chain and logistics cycle ahead, what the small vendors they do, they connect with third party in order who shall take your delivery and put it up to you from the vendor from you have purchased. Crowdfunding. Now, crowdfunding is one of the very interesting thing that e-commerce platform has introduced us. So, there are 2-3 examples that you can consider here. First is you are a startup and you have started your organization. You are looking for funds in order to scale your startup. You have a very good business plan. So what you can do is you can always look up to for crowdfunding into different sources. You list it and people who are interested, they would invest into your particular startup. Not only this, you usually interact in Facebook, different platforms. The gaming section of Facebook, you would see where the gamers interact live. There are options to send them coins or share them a particular amount. Or when in Facebook or YouTube someone is going live, you can do a transaction of money which one you wish to, provided there is an aid that is mentioned for which that particular video is going live. That way also what you are doing nothing, but you are part of crowdfunding, right? Or you would see that there are a lot of services that NGOs, they provide certain kind of help to particular segment of the society. There what happens exactly? Traditionally NGOs, they had their traditional way of working. People would go and they would donate. However, with the advent of digital marketing and having so much of scope into the digital platforms that is there, and where you can crowd fund things, what you can do is you can always run a campaign. You would see Sometimes you are watching a YouTube video, immediately a non-skippable ad comes up where it is being promoted by an NGO or a similar kind of non-profit organization. They seek your attention in order to help a particular person or group of society for a particular cause, maybe for fighting against child labor, or maybe helping a particular section of society, fighting human trafficking. So all of these, there are different causes, different platforms for which an organization or an individual take up to crowdfunding. Moving ahead, there is subscription. Now, as I was telling you, and I hope after this video lecture that you watch, every time you watch Netflix, you can relate to this particular statement that the subscription of Netflix or Amazon Prime that you have taken is nothing but a part of e-commerce platform or the e-commerce ecosystem. Every time when you are doing such kind of purchases, right, you are buying subscription from any of this channel, you have taken up YouTube Premiere, you have taken up Spotify Prime, you have taken up any of these channels, or for that matter any of this what do we call it, video channels in which you have to provide them subscription charges weekly or monthly, right? And you can unsubscribe it at any point of time. Now the charges that you are doing a transactional payment, right? And that is done online, right, through whatever payment gateways available. So that subscription model is also part of what e-commerce ecosystem. Moving ahead, physical products. Now, physical product is the oldest product that you would find was first introduced at the e-commerce platform for introducing that or making that platform so wide. Famous case study of the, how an e-commerce platform came up merely by selling books, right? So physical products always remain the heart of the e-commerce platform rather than doing other transactional activity. You would see people today, at least in the post-pandemic era, whatever things they want, whether it is books, refrigerator, electronics item, or non-perishable item, anything from groceries to your personal need, everything is now shifted towards e-commerce, and it is readily available for us at different platforms. Digital products, again, digital products, as I say, as I've given you example, right, the B2B segment, especially, like I want subscription of email marketing tool, I buy it from a business entity, whether it is MailChimp or Wix. Now for that matter, I want free stock images, I buy it from FreePic, or there are other websites who are doing the similar listing. I want some of the images or videos or audios non-copyrighted. I buy subscription of the same. So these are what? Nothing but digital product. But how am I availing it? I buy it from a vendor who is also in the business module, so business to business, or if I'm using it for an individual use, right? I am a blogger or I am a vlogger. For my blogs or my vlogs, I need certain kind of content, certain clips, certain images. I get my subscription from those sites and I use it without any kind of copyright claims on it. Services. Again, now you would be saying, how can services can be bought online? Now understand, when we talk about IT products, software as a service is something that is bought online, right? I talk about CRM. There are different other ERPs that every enterprises uses, right? So what we can do is immediately buy that particular online the product online, we make the purchase. The moment we are doing any kind of payment transaction online in order to avail a particular service, that too becomes part of the e-commerce ecosystem. Now, we have talked so much about e-commerce, its platform and its categories and how do we cater to it. Now understand how exactly e-commerce ecosystem really works and how it is growing so much that we cannot even identify that, or we cannot do away with it, or we cannot step back and not consider as a marketer that e-commerce would be a giant player in the future to come. Well, because the metrics of e-commerce is so much, it deeps dig into the behavior of an individual. And when I talk about behavior and behavior targeting, I'm talking about different kind of marketing methods. Wherein, imagine you are a startup and you sell commodities which are pretty much revolving around the sports segment. You have been recently launched and there are old players in the market. You have Nike, you have Reebok, then why should I go and make a purchase from a new startup like you? But I, as a new startup, I want that firstly, I should create my brand value. Everyone should know that there is a competition for Nike and Reebok coming soon. And how do I do it? I understand the internet behavior or the user behavior of the people. What I do is when I run a campaign, I ensure I choose my interest on the behavioral targeting basis. I say when my ad is run, it should be shown to people who are health conscious. They are always looking for blogs on, how to keep yourself fit. They are, or when they are ordering something, so online eating behavior is also being considered. They are ordering salads, they are ordering carb free food, and their online again purchase behavior. They're when they're buying something, they're buying something which is predominantly for the segment who are health conscious. So when I have all this data and now the new player in the market runs an ad, it goes to the right target audience because they are the one who are in need for good lifestyle with a healthy commodities for them to consume. So that's how behavior targeting can be used for the purpose of accelerating your revenue in the field of e-commerce. I hope my explanation has already given you an idea how behavioral targeting actually can help you accelerate your business. But for the sake of the syllabus, let's see what all it can do. So it helps you in increasing your user engagement. So now that you know that you are tapping the right audience, now I am selling sports shoes, and if I am showing it to people who are actually interested in sports shoes, but obvious they will be more inclined towards seeing my ads and engaging to it, right? Rather than if I am selling cupcakes and I'm showing my results to people who wants, sugar free lime soda, that means there is no consumer interaction or engagement, right? So you have to be very precise towards what you are showing and to your TG, the target audience you have selected for. High numbers of ad click through. Now, understand, content is the king, we say in marketing. It goes right for e-commerce platform as well. When you are doing behavioral targeting, you also ensure that not only it receives or the campaign that you have run is going to the right person, but you use the right keywords. Only then you would see that there are right clicks and clicks of genuine people. There would be less of bounce rate. People would come, they would engage to your content, and probably they would add the product in the cart and make the purchase. Improve conversion rate, as I've said. So you would see they are not only coming to your landing page, but they are making a purchase. More exciting ad experience. Now understand, dear learners, it's a very basic example. If I'm looking for flower bouquet and I type it on Google, flower bouquet near me or best florist near me, and if I see an ad which says that best flower shop near you or best florist near you, and immediately I click on it because the heading itself triggers my subconscious mind what I was looking for. The moment I click on that particular landing page and I go there and I see that the very first thing that they write is best bouquets for you. That means they are continuously engaging with me. So that user experience gives me more appreciation towards that brand. I probably, even if I didn't wanted to make a purchase, but because I had a good experience, I would like to consider that brand once in a while. I make the next purchase. highly efficient in the online shopping process. So as I've said, behavior targeting is very much convenient when marketers are processing their strategy for listing their products or services or creating their marketing campaign, because you know whom you have to target and how you have to target and hit that subconscious mind of them so that they make the purchase. Reminder and alerts for new products. As I've said, in the previous unit, we have learned about CRM, right? We have understand the customer journey. Now, using that and connecting with our e-commerce campaign, what you can do is we can amalgate both, use it to increase our sales. Now, we have the customer journey who is engaging to what? Right? And we also know that my target audience is looking forward to a specific kind of product only, and now I have their database. So in their birthday, I say that this particular product is there only for you during your birthday, and we have a special offer for you. So again, you are also retaining your customer this way. So these are some of the things in which behavior targeting helps you a mile to sale. How behavioral targeting advertising works. So we collect cookies. We, as in the different sites. So understand, whenever we are going to any of the e-commerce platforms or wherever they need to collect data, they say that this particular site collects your cookies, and they give and terms and conditions. It is upon us that whether we click yes or no. The moment we say yes, we are giving our information to them, right? Next, we have create user profile. So when this kind of subscription modules and things comes into picture, right, where you are going there for once, you need to create your profile. So in order to create your profile, you register your name, you give your mobile number, email ID. These are the basic things, and also your date of birth, in order to ensure that whether you are eligible to move ahead with this kind of sites, for making purchases or not. So that's how they collect your data, and that is later on used for marketing promotional activities. Designate consumer groups. Now, having understood your customer journey and how you behave online and what all things you look forward to, what all page you engage to, understand, dear learners, in Facebook, if you are watching a particular type of video for a very long time, that behavior of yours is also being calculated and being used in order to show you certain type of ads. Share relevant information with viewers. Obviously, now that I know that my viewers are someone who is very much health conscious, I show them the video which is relevant to that particular segment alone. Which categories of user information do data management platforms gather? So before you get scared that what all information they get, let's see what they receive from you. Your mobile device data, your geographic location to get precise location of where their viewers are. Subscription and registration entries, the data that you fill on your will. No one is manipulating you to. Demographic location through diverse networks. And with this, I come to the end of this particular session. I hope you have got enough information on e-commerce, and now whenever you make and purchase, this session remains on your mind. Until then, happy learning.